Well, thanks for being here. So yeah, what do you guys think a paradigm is? Thanks for the share. Anybody? Anybody? I think Bale. No, not that kind of paradigm. So nobody has a guess on what a paradigm is? Nobody? Yeah, it's like a model. So basically, I hope you get to feeling better. So basically, a paradigm is the foundation to our beliefs. So if you think about it, I believe in the paranormal, but maybe you don't believe in the paranormal. But where does that come from? Where do you think where my belief in things are real in the paranormal as to where your belief is things are not real in the paranormal, like the paranormal doesn't exist? Where does that come from? Where do you think that belief stems from? Like, what is the foundation of our beliefs? That's right, thought filters. So our thoughts are what lay that foundation to our beliefs. So a paradigm is something that's going to give you that foundation to be able to take on challenges, find new things, look at it from a different view. Kind of like putting a lens on how we think, right? So if y'all would, let's take just a second and take a deep breath with me. So we're going to inhale. All right, so let your shoulders soften, let your jaw unclench. There's nothing you need to fix, prove, or even push through in this moment. Today is not about self-improvement. It's about self-remembering. Because, in our classes, we've been talking about, the patterns that we pick up, the things that we were taught, that kind of trigger our nervous system and things like that. But we're here to talk about the paradigms, which are the invisible lenses through which we experience life. They shape how we interpret our bodies, our past, our relationships, and what we believe to even be possible. I've learned both professionally and personally that when we try to change behavior without changing the paradigm underneath it, we end up exhausted and discouraged. I can't do this. What's wrong with me? Why do I always do this? All those questions, once we push and push and push and we just exhaust ourselves and it doesn't, doesn't go how we planned, right? But when that foundation and the paradigm shifts, that's when our behavior recognizes, or not recognizes, but reorganizes naturally. Because if we strengthen the foundation, everything below it is going to fall into place. So basically, brave thinking is a practice of thinking of who you are becoming, not what you're trying to fix. Like, we're not trying to fix it. We're trying to become something new. So looking at it as, I have to fix this, it's a problem. Immediately the energy goes down, it goes to the negative because it's a negative view of it, right? But if we can look at it as, what steps can I take into who am I becoming? That changes the whole perspective on the view, therefore puts it in the positive light of, what can I do now to be able to move forward? So the first paradigm that we're going to talk about is the cause and effect thinking. Okay. This is initially the bottom layer of that foundation. So the foundation of the foundation, right? It builds everything else on top of it. So most of us are raised in what brave thinking calls affect consciousness. Life feels like it's happening to us, not for us. Our mood, confidence, and sense of safety are determined by circumstances, diagnosis, history, and other people's behaviors. Effect consciousness can sound something like, well, when this changes, everything will be okay. When this stress falls off, everything will be okay. So it's the effect from whatever your circumstance or situation or anything like that is, it's going to that negative side of it. So when this is done, then I'll go over here. So it's the effect of you not moving forward. It also sounds like, I feel safe when my body cooperates. Well, I'll do that when I feel better. Don't get me wrong. Please take the time you need. Don't take that as a, push yourself beyond your limits type thing. I can't move forward because of what happened to me. I can't get past it. It always haunts me, or, all those things that we say. For a long time, affect thinking showed up for me as believing that my body was broken. Even my mental state was broken. Because I have very many diagnoses, mental and physical. And with that, one of those basically is a sensitive nervous system. So with that sensitive nervous system, I thought that if I can't truly trust myself, if I could talk, if I can't truly trust myself, and if I can't trust myself, I can't trust my future. That one really hit for me when I heard that. But the brave thinking also introduced me to the cause consciousness. The cause does not mean blame. The cause means authorship. Okay, so it means recognizing that when I didn't choose everything that happened to me, I do choose how I relate to it, how I use that information, what lessons I take from that. Cause thinking can sound like, my body is not my enemy. It's highly intelligent. It knows when I need to rest. It will shut down if I don't, right? If we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, we get sick. It breaks down the immune. Everything goes wacko. So it is highly intelligent because it warns us beforehand. Now, if you listen to it or not, that's going to be on you. But when I listen, pace, regulate, and work with it instead of against it, like laying down if I need to lay down for a little while, but still not using that as an excuse to not get up and do what I need to do once I feel better, or taking the day off because my body's like, nope, we're not doing it. So when I listen, pace, regulate, and work with it instead of against it, I feel safer inside myself. And from that safety, I have creative power. So we went from the I can't move forward because of what happened to me, or the I feel safe when my body cooperates. Once this changes, I'll be okay, into, saying that yes, when I listen to my body because it's intelligent, I listen, I pace, I regulate, do all the things that I need to do. So I'm going to ask y'all some questions. You don't have to answer in the chat, but please feel free if you choose to do so. Where have you been waiting for something outside of you to change before you allow yourself peace or forward movement? So basically, what excuses have you made lately that says, when this is out of the way, I'll be okay. Everything will be fine. It's fine. Fine. Everything's fine. So where have you been waiting for something outside of you to change before you allow yourself peace or forward movement? Okay. Jen says selling the house. Now it's not as important. So second question I'm going to give you is, what might shift if you reclaimed your authorship? Write your own story without the teachings and patterns and learnings, because we talk about regulating our nervous system, trying to be able to recognize in that moment that we get triggered and we start flipping out, or the anxiety goes through the roof or anything else, and you're like, why am I doing, why is this happening? That we are able to change it. Well, it's really no different. Reclaim it. We rewire the nervous system to say, hey, we're not in that moment. It's not happening to us. We're okay. We're safe. Like we're all right, So what might shift if you reclaimed your authorship gently and without force? So not forcing it, but just being in awareness of it. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to move on to the second paradigm. So remember, that first one is the foundation. Okay? All of these paradigms to follow that we're fixing to go over, they will build naturally if you can get that cause and effect to be rewired, to go from that negative viewpoint into the positive. But the second paradigm is scarcity versus sufficiency. Okay. So scarcity is the belief that there is not enough, right? Not enough time, not enough energy, not enough health, not enough money or capacity. Like, do I even have the strength to do this, right? Scarcity keeps us bracing, hustling, and abandoning ourselves in the name of survival. All those patterns we've picked up on just how to survive. If you have a lot of trauma in your past, you probably know a little bit about survival. Whether it's emotional survival, physical survival, mental, all the way around. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read that again. Scarcity is the belief that there is not enough time, energy, health, money, or capacity. Scarcity keeps us bracing, hustling, and abandoning ourselves in the name of survival. So something that scarcity, that we might say is, when I have more money, then I'll go get this for my business. Or when I have money, I can do that. I can go get a new car. Or when I have money, all this stress won't mean so much because then I know I'm at least stable. Whatever that might be in the scarcity realm. I saw this clearly in my own healing. Scarcity sounded like in mine was, I don't have enough energy or consistency to build strength, create stability, or move toward my vision. I need to wait until I am fully better. I have used that excuse. Kitty's still in here. I'm sure she, she would attest to this because I have said that. I just don't feel good. I'm not doing it. When in actuality, I'm not dying. You know what I mean? Like, I could have fully gotten up and done what I needed to do because it wouldn't have taken a lot of energy or anything like that. But just because I felt like crap, I'm like, no. And then that's when I don't have enough energy or consistency to build what I want to build. I'm going to remember you said that. Can I repeat? Can I repeat which part? So sufficiency offers a totally different lens to just that. So the scarcity comment was, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy or consistency to build strength, create stability, or move forward and where I want to go. I need to wait until I'm fully better. But sufficiency sounds like, I have enough capacity today to take one inspired action. I can choose supportive movement, nourishment, rest, and boundaries, and those choices compound over time. So it's going from, I don't have this, into, I have the capability to do one inspired action towards that. And if that's all I got for the day, that's all I got. You know what I mean? But that's still being more sufficient than being stuck in the scarcity. So all of these are kind of, taking that negative thinking and turning it into the positive side. Again, as a lot of people say, seeing the glass half full or half empty. Sufficiency doesn't deny limitations. I'm going to repeat that. Sufficiency does not deny limitations. It simply refuses to let limitation become your identity. So the limitations do not define who we are. And that is living in sufficiency. The vision doesn't ask if conditions are perfect. It only asks you, what are you willing to do to get it? And if we're in the negative mindset, we're not, where our attention goes, energy grows. So if we're always stuck on, I don't have this, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough strength or stability or emotional regulation or whatever it is, we have to flip it into, I am capable, or I am this, to take this inspired action. And again, the vision does not ask if conditions are perfect. The vision asks, what are you willing to do to get it? So I got 2 questions for you guys. Again, you don't have to answer in chat, but feel free if you choose to do so. Where do you notice I can't yet showing up for you today or recently? Not specifically today, but in the recent last couple days, last months, however you want to look at it. Where do you notice I can't yet showing up for you here recently? Travel freely without a scheduled date. Okay. I understand that. Anybody else? Give you a minute or so. So where do you notice the I can't yet showing up? I must have heard you because I was already reading it as soon as that comment came in. Where do you notice the I can't yet showing up? Now, the second question is, what is available to you right now? What is available to you right now? Okay. That's a good one, butterfly. So basically on the second question, what is available to you now? What is one inspired action in the next 10 minutes that you could do to take a step towards your dream? And it can be something as simple as write a sticky note, make this call tomorrow. It could be looking at marketing prices for your company. Good old Google search. What can you do in the next 10 minutes that would give you that inspired action? And then when you run into that during the day, then you then you would be able to see what inspired actions you could take that don't cost money, that can be done while going to the bathroom if you needed to. A 5-minute inspired action on your phone while you're, because we'd be scrolling on TikTok or whatever while we're in there anyway. What can you do in that 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes? I mean, I know for me, I'd make excuse after excuse on why I couldn't do it, Yeah, Kitty, you're a good example. You just don't think about it. You just do it. Like, oh, that feels right. We're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to go lay down. Hey, look at these 17 things I did. But yeah. So the third paradigm that we're going to talk about is the problem focused versus the vision focus. This one, like I said, so the first paradigm we talked about is initially the foundation, and you'll kind of see some of these other paradigms overlapping, like the scarcity and sufficiency. Problem-based and vision-based, Many of us were trained to believe that if we analyze the problem long enough, the solution will appear, right? How many of y'all have done that? If I analyze it long enough, I'll find the answer. And then you wasted all that time trying to find an answer. But the thing is, our problems organize attention around the past. Vision organizes attention around possibility. So again, taking that one inspired action of looking up, marketing packets or whatever and prices, online or whatever. That's a possibility, of finding that marketing company for your business. It could be another thing. Let's see. I mean, really anything that has possibility, which we all know anything's possible, right? I spent years asking the problem-based questions like, why does my past still affect me? And I still ask that question today. But the other one was, why do my health challenges and family patterns keep shaping my life? Brave thinking shifted the question to something more powerful. I'm a generation breaker. Who I am becoming as I choose regulation, embodiment, and self-respect instead of survival. Who am I becoming as I choose regulation, embodiment, and self-respect instead of survival? Sorry, what'd you say? As opposed to, I don't have the money to do marketing. Exactly. Even looking at prices on the marketing. That's taking an inspired action. So when the money is there, you know who you can hire and who you can't. Or how much you need to be able to do that so you can take another inspired action. Collect the money. Set a date. Okay, we're going to do this, try to have it by this, But brave thinking shifted the question. Oh, yeah. So it was, who am I becoming as I choose regulation, embodiment, and self-respect instead of survival? Vision doesn't erase the past. It redeems it. Okay, so that's like turning pain into wisdom. Pain into strength. However you want to look at that. It says you don't solve your way into a new life. You live your way into one. So we don't solve our way into a new life. We live our way into one. We embody that. So if y'all would, if you feel comfortable where you're sitting, please, if you're driving, do not do this. At least not with your eyes closed, because I'm fixing to ask y'all to close your eyes. But yeah, if you're comfortable with it, I ask that you close your eyes. I'm going to read this little thing, and I kind of want you to take note of, what you feel, whether it be in your body, in your energy, whatever you want to focus on. But if you would, close your eyes. Now imagine your life working beautifully. Not perfectly, but honestly and sustainably. Notice what feels different in your body, in your choices, and how you relate to yourself. Let that vision describe what, not how. And when you're comfortable, you can open your eyes. So if we imagine that our life is working beautifully, not perfectly, but beautifully. We're stepping into who we want to become, even though it's messy, it's stressful, we got life and whatever it may be, but to honestly and sustainably look at your vision of where you want to be. Did you notice a difference in your body? Elaine says feels lighter and more comforting. Okay. What would change in your choices coming from the vision of where you want to be? What in your choices would be different? Heart and face went warm and joyful. Okay. So that's kind of where we have to. Well, I thought it was supposed to say went. Like they went warm. They're warm, yeah. We're warm and joyful. How did you relate to yourself in that, though? Also, would you be talking negatively like you do today if you're not living your dream? You would feel freer to be alive. Okay. Felt free and able. So y'all are kind of on the same track. So again, living from the vision. What would it like to be there? Is describing the what. What would it feel like? What choices would I make different? How would I see my, or, not how. What do I see different within myself being in the vision already? Like, what would be different? So, describe the what, not the how. Because the how is none of our business. We just need to listen to intuition and take those inspired actions. You can relax more. Yeah. So it's all in the, instead of focus on the problem to find the solution, focus on the vision, even during the hard times. If you're having a mental day and you're not getting out of bed, okay. But what can you do on the internet to take an inspired action? Like I said, looking for the marketing company, looking for sponsors, looking, whatever it may be. Even in your personal life, looking for a new shelf to go up on the wall to make it feel more homey, more safe. You know what I mean? Like, what inspired action can you take every day to live from the vision? Now, if it doesn't work out, okay. Obviously, that was not the right possibility or opportunity for me to go where I'm going. So what else can I do? What's another inspired action? And then moving on to our fourth paradigm, which is circumstances versus conscious choice. Travel more, review finances. Yeah. But you can't live in the how am I going to get enough money, or the time off of work, or how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to find, a sponsor? How am I going to do that? You can't live in the how. You got to live in the what. What can I do? If this was the vision me, how would I react? If I know that I want to work on self-respect, okay, what's inspired action that I can set with myself or others to be able to do that? But paradigm number 4 is circumstances versus conscious choice. And this is where we place our power. Circumstance-driven living says, when my body stabilizes, when relationships settle down, when life calms down, then I'll feel okay. I lived there for a long time. A long time, y'all. But yet the choice-driven living sounds like, even while things are imperfect and they're in the shithole, I choose nervous system safety, clear boundaries, honesty, and self-loyalty. Those choices create stability. So instead of saying when my body feels better, or this, fight with the boyfriend, girlfriend, your partner, whoever, a friend, a coworker, when this is over, then I'll feel okay. When things calm down, I'll feel okay. Instead, even though it's a shit show, I still choose to set those boundaries for my nervous system safety, being aware of to be able to make that change. Clear boundaries. Like, look, here's my boundary. I laid it out for you. And it's up to you if you choose to cross that boundary or not. But we're not doing the same go around as we've been doing. Honesty and self-loyalty, and those choices all create stability. Choices do not mean bypassing emotion or forcing positivity. Okay, don't dismiss emotions, or, don't shove it down, hold it in, whatever. And don't force that positivity. Because when you're forcing it, the universe is going to know if it's truly from the heart and what you truly intend behind it. If you just say it to say it, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'll show you. But yeah, choices do not mean bypassing the emotion or forcing positivity. It means choosing how you show up again and again and again and again. Are we going to get it right every time? No. But because we do it again and again and again and again and again, we have more chances to be able to make it right, critique it, make it what we want it to become within ourselves, our relationships, whatever it is. So it means we choose how to show up. You don't control everything, but you always control your relationship to what's happening, how you react. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I told them something I needed to hear. And that was, I can state my truth, but their reaction to what I say is not my responsibility. My responsibility is my reaction. I can't control their reaction. But when I mask and I people please and I shrink for other people just to, not ruffle feathers and not have to walk on eggshells, all those things are not my responsibility. I can only control how I react. So that's where that conscious choice comes in, instead of allowing the circumstances that you've been dealt to move you forward, like to control the situation. You have to stay in line with what you can control. Just like that inspired action we talked about in, the second and third, paradigms. Take that inspired action. Did you usually blow up in an argument and, punch holes in walls, or throw things or just scream or say things you regretted later because you really didn't mean it, but they hurt you and you didn't want to let them know you were hurt. So you're like, well, I'm going to tell them, and then you say it. And then as you're saying it, you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, so that's the next time that comes up. Okay, well, hey, let's pause it right here. I need to step away and calm down before we continue this conversation. So that would be that conscious choice to be able to step away, to set that boundary, to create that stability that you're looking for, to create that safe environment that you're looking for, to be able to move through that, right? And then our last paradigm is linear time versus vision-based time of what you're inspired to change. So the final paradigm is about time. Linear time says, I'm behind. Healing took too long. I should be further along by now. And of course, I believed that for years. Too many. But yet vision-based time reframes it completely. The embodied, strong, and sovereign version of me already exists because it's in that vision. A lot of y'all said in the chat, you relaxed, you felt freer, you felt lively, you know what I mean? Like it was a totally different you, right? So the embodied, strong, and sovereign version of myself already exists. With this body, the wisdom, and this depth, what would she or he choose today? So if you were that person that you felt like you were in your vision, when I had y'all close your eyes, what would she or he choose today? Because you all said that you felt freer, you felt livelier. So that version of you already exists because you've already created what that looks like for you. So vision doesn't rush us. It pulls you forward without shame. So that's also where the problem focus to the problem focused and vision focused. Identity organizes behavior faster than motivation ever could. So like when we started this, I explained the paradigm as being the foundation of our beliefs, right? Our thoughts create the vision, which then creates the identity that organizes the inspired action faster than motivation ever could. That one hit me. When I read that one, I was like, oh man. Because they also teach us that our thoughts create feelings, which then create actions, and those actions create results, right? So if we identify with our vision person because we say it's so, otherwise we wouldn't have the vision. But identity organizes behavior faster than motivation ever could. Again, Elaine, that word, you said, I'm not sure I know how to be whatever that is. It's not about the how. It's about the what. What can I do? What would it take to do that? What am I willing to do? We don't worry about the how, just like we don't worry about other people's reactions to us speaking our truth. Setting a boundary, not people pleasing anymore, changing and they don't like it. That's not our responsibility. The how is not our responsibility. But the identity will organize behavior faster than motivation ever could by looking at the what, not the how. Because, yes, you may have problems with financial. What can we do? What inspired action can we do to hone in on that? So again, let's take a deep breath. Kind of wrap things up. So what do you feel that you notice that's different from the beginning of class? Not what you understand intellectually, but what feels more settled inside of you after that visualization that I led you through when you closed your eyes. From the time that you came into the live, it's not what you understood intellectually, but what feels more settled inside of you right now. Do you have a small piece of inspiration like, I could do this. I could look up those marketing prices. I could order these business cards right now. I could set this healthy boundary. Okay, Jen says where I'm headed and what I need to start doing. Yeah. Elaine says my awareness expanded to see a difference my life could be. So imagine if you lived in that every moment of every day. Living in that vision. No matter your circumstance, no matter your limitations, no matter your situation, no matter what would it be like? How would it be different for you if you lived in that mindset every day instead of, oh God, I ain't got the money to do this, I ain't got the money to do that? Because like I said, where our attention goes, that's where our energy flows. Transformation is not about fixing yourself. It's about releasing what was never truly you. And see, for a long time, I believe transformation was trying to fix myself. Because for so many years, I felt broken. So it's not about fixing, it's about releasing what was never truly you. Now, this is all a practice. It's not just like, our other classes. This is not a one and done and like, bam, yeah, I got it. It's going to take practice. You'll catch yourself slipping into those old paradigms. Oh God, I don't have the money to do that right now. That's not failure, y'all. Y'all noticing that you slip back into the old thinking is not failure. That's awareness. Whether you believe it or not, that's awareness. To be able to see, hey, you know what? I did it again. Dang it. So instead of going the negative route, look at it of, well, I'm glad I see it. Now, the next time Hopefully I can change it. Hopefully I'm more aware in the moment so I can change it and I don't fall back down that old paradigm, you know? So yeah, it's not failure, it's awareness, because you're aware, crap, I did it again. Why do you do that, you know? But it's also, again, that marker of not just being the robot and doing what you thought was right or was taught, again, to be right. Yeah, oops, I did it again. But yeah, but yeah, each time you choose again, you strengthen that new way of being, of what you are wanting to become. So I'm gonna leave y'all with these. Just 3 kind of little affirmations or tidbits. I don't know what you want to call them. I am the cause, not the effect. I am the cause. Oh, I got the puzzle piece. Hold on. Uh-oh. It didn't like that. Okay. So I am the cause, not the effect. I think from vision, not limitation. I choose bravely, and my life responds. So I'll say them again. I am the cause, not the effect. I think from vision, not limitation. And I choose bravely, and my life responds.